Okay. I honor you all for watching here on YouTube Live at Blooming Light, at Bloomie's Tribe. If you happen to be logging in live, and if you are a decent being, it is September the, what is it? The 29th, 2029. I mean, 25. Oh, I skipped 4 years. Good gravy. 2025. And it is approximately 12:51 p.m. Central Standard Time in the U.S. Okay, so I believe the title says something like, um, how to tell how baneful magic manifests, because it can be so hard to tell the difference, because it can be so hard to tell the difference. I personally, this is my resonance, this is my experience. Take it as a res. I'm sure there's many multitudes of ways in which it manifests and how you're able to tell in real time, in real life, right? And this is definitely dedicated to those who are aware of this stuff. So if this is not your type of thing and you don't really jive with this or believe in that, it's okay. Okay. And I want you to know that I'm okay with that. Like, you don't become my arch enemy because you don't believe in that. Okay. I value diversity. I understand the journey. I understand that, we all are here on some kind of whatever, and it's okay. And I'm really grateful. Let me change that. I love and am honored that I am able to see things that way, and that I am able to operate that way. I believe that um, it expands my ability to relate to people and have connections because of the openness, the understanding that, okay, they don't have to like agree with me, and it don't mean that they're bad because they don't. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that, you know, this person, oh, they're my arch enemy because they don't believe in spells and magic or any of that is real. And so I need to go on a crusade. No, I don't. If they're a decent person, they're a decent person, and it's okay. And if this video is, you know what I'm saying? It's not the end of the world. It's okay. It's okay. I just want to say that because I share a lot of content creator stuff, and I don't necessarily agree with everything they're saying. I don't necessarily, okay, share with 100% of their views. I glean if there's any value in anything that they said at all. If there's any, resonance or relevance, then that is what I grab. I don't have to throw away the whole thing because, oh, they said this and I don't believe in that. It's like, okay, that's okay. And I don't even want to assume with that either, because that could just be a point of reference. I don't even want to assume that anymore, that they're talking about, because that's what we have been come to culturalize or come to associate something with. So I just stopped doing that altogether. Um and maybe that's going to help somebody. Yeah. Yeah. Um so anywho, if, like I said, if this video is not going to be for y'all out there, that's okay. Catch my next one to something that's more along the lines of, what does res, okay? But this is to those of you, without a shadow of a doubt. And it's because of some of you knowing, like gaining proof and gaining information that blew your wig off. You know what I'm saying? But no doubt, shit, gaining it in terms of, oh shit, your family is a part of a cult. God damn it, motherfuckers. It's the thing. It's not just TV. Or, you see what I'm saying? All of this types of stuff. And coming to realize that that was affecting you, your children, your life. And then you realize that many others were doing those things. So with that being said, let's bypass all of that. We're not going to be talking about all of the things in which, happen to us and so forth. What I want to talk about is some true to life, real life ways. Because listen, in the beginning, you won't know in terms of how it manifests, okay? Because we all hear stories like, okay, somebody they did this, they did that, okay, So, how it manifests in the physicality, okay, in the reality, how does it manifest? And of course, it's going to depend on what's being done, no doubt, okay? So there's really no cookie cut on that either. What's being done, the level and grade of it, for how long, um, all of these things, okay, as well as the individual's personal vibrational set point, their frequency, okay, your personal vibration and frequency. uh, all of these are factors. Health and well-being, all of these are factors. DNA, I'm coming to learn all of this stuff. They're all factors. Okay, but even though they're varying factors, there's still a manifestation, no matter how small or how large or big. So the reason why this gets trippy, okay, this is from my experience. It's not gonna be like, ooh, in some cases, in some of us, it is gonna be like that. But in some of the cases, it's not gonna be like this thing, like poo, pa, just huge, ginormous thing. It's gonna be, you feel oddly tired. See how subtle that is? Oddly tired, unusual. Okay. It can manifest as you um feeling like you can't think. Now, viewer discretion is advised. This is not medical or professional advice. I did mention health and well-being, one's health, one's lifestyle, if there's any preconditions, medications. So all of this has to be taken with some kind of balance. It helps if you know yourself, because that way you can sit there and balance it out. Okay, you knowing if you're on medication, you knowing if you're on your about to have your cycle, if you're a woman, like it serves if we know, that way we can go down our list. Okay, but don't worry, I'm gonna get somewhere here in a minute, a shortcut. Okay. um There is a shortcut. I'm gonna share it in a minute. It's a shortcut. It's like, that's too many shits. Look, I'm tired. Tired as is. So let's just, if you're anything like me, that's where you're gonna get on your journey. And because of that, your team possibly will be coming in to do certain downloads because of that. Because you're gonna be like, I ain't got no 30 years, bitch. I don't have 30 years for that. Okay. We're going to be needing the Matrix version. Go ahead and plug me in. Right? Plug me in and go on ahead and boot, these here moves, bitch. Because I don't have 30 years to do this. Okay. They made sure of that. I wasn't put away in some monastery, you know what I'm saying, where I can practice my craft. you know you know what I'm saying? They're scared of that shit. That's kind of why. But back to what I'm talking about here. So, unusual, a very common one, believe it or not. This is one of the most common signs that either somebody is siphoning your energy, that there's somebody doing some kind of baneful working, siphoning your energy, whether that is sex rituals, blood sacrifices, harvesting, doing something, draining you, vamping, okay? Um, Unusual tiredness, even though let's say you're taking care of yourself, you're refreshing yourself, you're sleeping, doing all these things, and then out of nowhere you're still getting some kind of unusual heaviness, headaches and neck aches, the neck and the back as well. Okay. A sign that somebody is playing in your energy, doing some unsavory things, is unusual headaches out of nowhere. Okay. Headaches, feeling pressure, like something's heavy, or pain on the back of the neck, the top of the back, the neck, and all of that. Okay. Um, you can't think, feeling like there's a fog. Okay. Um, this is how it manifests on the physical. Okay. Suddenly feeling irritated. Okay. Your discretion is advised. Know yourself. But suddenly feeling for no reason. Let's say there's nothing. Okay. You've tracked all of your goodies and there's nothing. But for whatever reason, you suddenly feel the energy shift in the environment, or like irritated, frustrated. Suddenly there's like this um um off energy, and there's no logical explanation for it. Okay. Those are signs that somebody's planning in your energy. If you're arguing in your relationships, you know, and that not just love, children, those are signs that they sent chaos. Okay. Chaos, conflict, um, yeah. Unusual argumentativeness, nitpicking, just odd. See how all these things could just be taken as life. The reason why I wanted to talk about it is because everything that I'm mentioning doesn't, in and of itself, is nothing unusual about life. That's what makes it so insidious, in my opinion. Because these are standard things that happen in life. You get tired, people get tired. You get sleepy, people get sleepy. You get irritated, people get irritated. You see what I'm saying? They all are natural occurrences of life. Just living, even if there was no external manipulation whatsoever. Okay? Sickness. Any kind of sickness that come out of nowhere. Okay? Are you vomiting for no reason? Okay? Um, take into account, many of us have been poisoned, so I like physically poisoned. So I get that, but you know, even when that's not the case, are you vomiting for no reason? Like I said, otherwise everything is okay as far as you know, and just out of nowhere. Okay. Nauseous, dizzy. Do you feel nauseous? Do you feel dizzy? Okay. Um, let's see. What else? So we got the sickness. Okay, then you want to, then you want to start getting into the other stuff. So if they're really jealous of you and envious of you, this is going to go to the physical in terms of like appearance. I didn't notice this, but later on I was able to catch it, like stuff that happened even back when I was in Nevada. What the hell happened to Bookie Tournament? Okay. So if that's the case, even if they're covering it up real good and playing, bitch. Okay. Out of nowhere, do you seem to have skin issues and you never had skin issues? Just out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. Are you losing weight oddly or gaining? Because it just depends on whatever it is they're doing, because based on their issue. Okay. Is this coming out of nowhere? And it may be subtle and you may not think anything of it. You may, because again, these are normal occurrence. Oh, maybe my hormones are just changing. Okay, because if that's off balance, and then you see how we do it. Because these, again, they're natural occurrences of life. Okay. Um, how else do they manifest? Again, issues at work. If you have a job, is things suddenly, all of a sudden, things were going great. You were getting promotions and, flowing to, it seemed like you're getting every weirdo that this simulation created. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, like out of the nowhere, it's like, what the fuck? You know, all of a sudden people side eyeing you for no reason, or people, is it out of nowhere? More argumentative because they can send chaos and conflict everywhere, baby. They don't just have to send chaos and conflict to your romantic. It's if they don't want you to have shit, they'll send chaos and conflict to everything. If they don't want you to have shit in nobody at all whatsoever, ever, they will send that shit to every area of your birth chart. And some of them gonna find out like they didn't even do that correctly because, well, some of us aren't who anybody think we are. But neither here nor there. They can still do it, via connecting with you or anything of yours, and stuff like that. Um, and it's out of nowhere. Please keep this in mind. There's nothing else to allude to why. Nothing. In some cases, you learn down the road it's because the individuals were like handlers or whatever. In the case of like friends and lovers, but in other cases, it's people sending things. Okay, so it can manifest like that. It could also manifest, are you dropping things out of all of a sudden, unusually so? Is it something that they're jealous of that they want? Yes, follow me. Are you, dropping stuff or breaking stuff, or your kids? Unusual shit. Do you feel lethargic out of nowhere? And if you're somebody that has been working on yourself, let's say you've been working on yourself from the inside out, like your self love, self worth, self value, and like sincerely and wholeheartedly and aligning and all that stuff. But so if they can't affect it in that sense, they can do the other trickster type shit, is what I like to call it, trickster, to attempt to alter how you see something and how others see something. I found out, let's see, oh, it's been a while. But I was like, son of a bitch. This has been a while back, a long while back. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Um, they can alter, like, to, let's say you're attractive. Let's say you actually are, okay? But they don't want you to feel that way, and they don't want nobody else to feel and they don't want nobody else to feel that way, right? So they can glamour. That's what I like to call glamour. The glamour is when it's not actually, they didn't actually physically do it, or the magic didn't actually do the thing, but it just created like a cloak. Okay, so that you don't perceive, so to kind of make you feel some kind of way, to get you back in some kind of a certain kind of vibe, but also to make other people to feel some kind of way who are not very perceptive, if they're easily mind controlled type of thing. Okay. Where you have to later step back and go, wait a minute, because if you've been working on yourself and it's like, wait, like, okay, this ain't mine then. Like, what is that? Because typically it's to get you to is to get you to be stagnant, to stop or block in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. Okay. Um, it can manifest as, we already said, like you get sick. Normally you're not sick, and all of a sudden, okay, manifest as, you lose your wallet, your kid lose their wallet, and this is not something either of you typically do, because now if you're always losing it, then it's kind of hard to draw that connection. But if it's not something that you typically do, and all of a sudden it seems like getting clumsy, losing shit, bitch, shit breaking, tearing, bitch, it's like that's a curse, that's a jinx. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. um what else, what else, what else, what else, what else? There's various different forms. Like, it can hit any area of your life. It can even shit like your house. All of a sudden, do you have insects out of nowhere? Huh? I mean, be balanced with that one, because of course seasons and depending on where you are on the globe. So again, and at the end, I'm going to give a shortcut to where to cut through all of it. I'm just giving examples of how these things manifest. Were you otherwise happy in a relationship and connection, or somebody else, for all intents and purposes? And I'm talking about where this is true, not where it was like fake pretending because they're on assignment. But in the cases where it's true, okay, it's true. And then for whatever reason, all of a sudden, no reason, nothing, nothing big, at least worthy of just all of a sudden no connection, no interest, bored of. Sometimes those are breakup spells. Okay. Where the person just gets bored of it. Um they basically, it's a breakup spell. Okay. Chaos and conflict, contention, get the person, each other to see each other, whatever. Okay. Um to try to get you to give up on yourself. They can do that. A suicide, a sabotage. Okay, to give up on yourself, to give up on life, to give up on, you know, that's a sign, especially if that's not you. We do need to know ourselves. If that's not otherwise you, if you're somebody that, like, yeah, you take a licking and keep on ticking. You know what I'm saying? And you heal and you evolve and you alchemize. Whoop. hmm Um, that's a sign that that's an actual spell. Okay, versus it's just you. Like, that's an actual spell. Okay. Uh oh, on the flip, the compelling compassion spells. So the other side of it is, do you find yourself, like, if you ever find yourself outside of the trauma bonds and what we've come to know about abusive relationships in general, because that's a spell actually, but that cycle, that addiction, and what happens in that whole abuse cycle, right? Um, but do you find yourself in a situation where it's like you're not even really feeling that person? If you were to actually just sit down and whoop, you know, and be honest with yourself, like you really not, like you really ain't, at least not to that magnitude, and they done already, let's say they've kind of already maybe shown a little bit of their colors or to you or whatever, and you're like, okay, like you're ready to just go ahead, but have you found yourself then out of nowhere feeling unusually It's a possibility, okay? There's going to be a test you can do. We'll get there at the end. There's a test. There's a way to cut through it. Because there is a possibility, not all cases, but there is a possibility that there is some kind of a compelling, that somebody's trying to do love spell, manifest. Okay, it's a possibility. Okay, especially if there's a cycle. I have to emphasize that. Especially if you have found yourself in numerous cycles with one person. Okay, everybody have a slip up. All of us have, you know what I'm saying, situations where it's like, okay, something didn't work and we try again. It doesn't mean that that person did a spell. Okay, but if you find yourself like, okay, what the fuck is this? Okay, and this shit didn't happen. How many times? And why am I even fucking with you? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's when it may serve to kind of evaluate, like, okay, there's a pattern that's been established. This person has repeatedly, we keep landing here. We keep landing here. This is the third time. This is the fourth time we have landed here. And it's almost virtually the same thing. So it ain't a fluke. Like I said, it's not a fluke. It's not one time, oh, and you get back. It's like, no, we've been doing this for somebody. This is a song and dance. And have you been able to look at what is surrounding that? Okay, is it always happening right as you're just about good and over them, and it seems like you're getting some pep in your step again? Is that when they magically appear? Is that when there's these magical opportunities with them all of a sudden? Is it, you know, when they're in a financial crisis or they think you're going to be in a financial come up? Have you been able to, you know, look at that? Or they come in with one. Okay, because for some of you, it's the other way around. They come in with one, like this magical, it's this magical opportunity all of a sudden. Is is there a pattern of that, and it inevitably cycles into what it always has? Other than trauma bonding as we know it, which is possibly the underlining tone, but it's also a strong possibility that there's a love spell on you, a compelling. And if they have a sex entity attached to them, that only strengthens it and solidifies it. Okay? I told y'all, sex magic is one of the oldest and most powerful spells, in my opinion, because it contains all the elements. All of them. All the elements are there. Okay? And if they put extra bells and whistles, then it's super. You know what I'm saying? If they in the cave, you know, if they're doing some extra in the background, bitch, ooh, and whatever shit that's putting extra. That's extra, bitch. That's the gold package. Okay. Uh-huh. But you can hate their guts. See, listen, I'm saying all this because you hate them. Uh-huh. If you were honest, like maybe you won't say it out loud. Okay. Because you don't want no fight. You don't feel like going through all that. But you know, you hate them. You hate them. You hate them. But you love them. At least that's what you think. It's a spell. Compelling. And the sex solidifies it. It cements it. This is one of the reasons why when people like to use those forms a lot, they're the ones that are usually very fast and loose with trying to get you there. Okay? Not that there's nothing wrong with sex. I am not saying that. Don't go there. Okay? I'm not a prude. There's no judgment on sex and fast sex and any kind of sex, any of you all. We're simply talking about in this video dealing with, how spells manifest, signs, what you can do. And when you know that this is what you're dealing with, once you're able to figure out and understand, because this stuff does not, it looks normal. They don't have on no name tag. Okay? There's no name tag. In fact, they're probably carrying a Bible. Okay? They probably got crosses around their necks and a Jesus bumper sticker on their car. Okay? The only reason why I'm saying that is because of the way our culture associates things. That's the only reason why I'm going there, because this applies to all kinds of religions and spiritualities. It applies to all of it. The point that I'm making is we looking for some kind of identifier label tag, and I promise you it's going to be the opposite. And should I say that? I don't know if I even want to share that. I don't know. But that's my point, because everything is going to look like normal and, good, clean, wholesome, nothing to allude to anything abnormal. And many of us, we go a very long time mistaking these things for love. I'm guilty of it, like everybody else. Because that's how we came up. Most of us don't even understand like all of this conditionings and stuff. Like that ain't even it. Like that ain't even it. It's more addiction than it is anything else. Addiction, obsessions, codependency than anything else. Because love is honoring. That's why I'm saying that. Love is honoring. And honoring don't look like that. I didn't say love didn't have rifts. I just said love is honoring. So it's not trying to usher up authority over somebody's free will to see something clearly. And it's not trying to force somebody. What did I tell? Damn. Okay, anyway. Also, it's not trying to force somebody to be into something. Love, that's not it. Okay? So, if you're able to like catch that, like it's a possibility. If you really don't like the person, but you seem like you can't help but, go to them, you can't help but rescue them and cover for them, that's because they have a compelling on you. They have a compassion spell.
I think the money should be deposited by now, Mom.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm doing this recording. So that's just something to think about. And please, once again, it's a possibility. That's all I said. But you need to do your own kind of evaluation of each situation, because it's not cookie cut. Case by case. Case by case. Okay? It's like, okay, I don't like the person, but I can't help but want to give to them. I can't stand them, but I can't help but want to rescue them. I can't help but wanting to, take up for them, and they do me dirty, but I can't help but want to defend them. Ah, that's a spell. It's a spell. Now, if you want to go deeper on the other side, I'm not doing that in this video because, of course, I believe that this is to do with the inner child woundings and traumas and things that we haven't dealt with. Of course, there's a side, and please, if you can get professional help and counsel, and you have the means to do so, and you're feeling drawn to, by all means, okay? I understand that this ain't the fixer, what I'm saying. Okay, sometimes there's deeper matters. Okay, our culture, archetypal energy that we may not realize that we're operating in, and whatever. Okay. Um, if you're not going through some type of a midlife crisis, because remember, I say keep all of that in mind, and everything about you, it's just not, you're not yourself. It's their energy being projected because they're trying to destiny swap. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now let's wrap her up. I said that I was going to get to, at the end, something that is very simple to do, but it has to be done. It's up to you, and with consistency and just sitting in it whenever something happens. And so you can learn how to simply navigate through it, because otherwise you'll drive yourself bonkers. Trust me, been there, done that.
Oh shit! How this hell
Okay?
happened?
Because it's too much, like for realsies. How, in the natural, it all looks natural. So what you gonna do? We're told so many things on a healing journey, and you're clearing energy, and rest, and you may feel this and that and so forth. But there's a fine line there, and this is something I figured out. Some of that is a trick. Yep, you heard me correctly. Some of that is a trick. Mm-hmm. To drain you and harvest you, and you think you're just sitting here resting. It's like, to a degree you need to, but to a degree, that's a trick, because then you're always healing and resting, okay, when you're living. They too busy living off your energy. Oh, I'm gonna give them hell for this. I'm gonna have me a good old time as this year come to a wrap. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give them good employ. Yes, bitch. Yes. Make me and my son tired so they can sit up and woo-de-woo and prison us. They hitting motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. Oh, they gonna wish they didn't do this shit. They gonna wish. They gonna wish. Um. So anywho, a fine line. You definitely want to rest when you feel the need to rest. You want to pay attention to your body. Oh, good. Excellent point. So you know how we're told pay attention to your body.
Oh, no, you don't, Team Rocket.
Okay? Feel into the body. We have become so disconnected. We're told pay attention to your body. Feel into your body. All right? Listen to your body. And we should. But in this video, what we're talking about is being able to determine if something has a natural cause or if it's unnatural. Because if we're paying attention to our body and they're doing shit to our body, remember, I have a card in one of my tarot decks. One of the oracle decks that I created 2 years ago. It says they attack your health, your physical health and well-being, to make you tired so that you won't fight for your life. That you be too drained. You'll be basically just barely surviving. You'll be too drained to deal with anything spiritual, too drained to come against them, too drained to sue them, too drained to even care. See that? So what can you do? Well, in your own your blah 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 your unique way, you can have it to be revealed to you. Okay. And the reason why I say in your unique way, because if it's natural and comfortable the way you do something, then it seems to have like a more effect.
What?
So
Shit.
let's say, something like, how do you do your invocations? Let there be light, abracadabra, whatever you do, reveal, explico. Is this natural or not? If it is not natural, then I blah 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 blah. See that? So you can have explico, like bring it up, and then with that, and this takes maybe 2 minutes or a minute. We're not talking about needing to spend 30 minutes walking in circles on something, because that's too involved. Life is happening. Okay, it may take 2 to 5 minutes. Okay, and after you do your own version of your invocation, in other words, revealing if it's natural or unnatural, and then commanding and creating and uncreating, hitting it if it is not natural. If it's not natural occurrence, meaning it's organic, it is in the body's natural, blase blase, there's no foul play. Okay, what you'll find, now this is what I'm finding. Okay, I did it on myself and I did it on my son. Okay, when it's not natural, like I said, depend on what it is that you're trying to clear, how long it's been there. You want to take in all those variables and stuff like that. What I've noticed, okay, in my case, I had, it was something smaller. It wasn't really big. It was just, like I said, this was a case of unusual tiredness or sleepiness. This wasn't like a super big thing. Okay. And so, over myself, I was like, okay, is this, because I didn't want to like force him to be up. I was like, okay, if he's tired, like he just needs rest. But then I was like, no, I'm like, he's too young. Why the fuck is he so drained? He don't have no crazy lifestyle. He ain't out here in these streets hoeing. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got, some off. So I did that regarding him. First, I did it over him. And within the 2 minutes, I didn't say anything to him. I didn't tell him anything. I just did it. Within the 2 minutes, he went from laying down, saying he was just going to rest and relax, to getting up, going to his desk to get on the computer in 2 minutes. First, he was ready to lay down and relax, take a nap. He got up on his own, and within 2 minutes, went to his desk. And then I just said, I just watched him for a minute because I wanted to read his energy. So I was scanning his energy. And so I was like, okay, it was a spell. Something was draining him, siphoning him, making him tired and sleepy. And some of it is because they like to do shit to him when he sleep. They didn't think I'd ever figure that out. But so, um, yeah. And then I do, and I've started doing it over myself. Like when I start feeling sudden, subtle weirdness, like if I suddenly feel hazy or foggy for no reason. And me, since I'm super sensitive, I can actually sense and feel when an entity comes. I can feel when they send it. I can feel which side, yeah, like that. I can feel and sense which actual side of my body. Yep. And I can feel into like my energy changing because of it. Like, is there irritation coming through? Is there frustration coming through? Is there like this sense of fog? It could be chaos, conflict, or haze, confusion. Okay. So what I start to do with that, again, when I sense it, is this natural cause? Is this just something, my hormones? Is it that, I'm perimenopause? Like I take that into account, but then I go, okay, well, if this is not organic life, natural changes, explico, reveal, and then I still cancel, delete, destroy, and create, rearrange my words, blah, blah, blah. And then I still take precautions after that. So I sit with it, see what happens. Then I'll go on to do what I need to do and make the adjustments. Now, is this fixing everything, you all out there? No, that is not what I'm claiming with the video. Okay. As I stated before, it's in my, the description box here. If you read through it, this is not replacing in lieu of any professional, medical, financial, spiritual, emotional guidance or advice. Okay. These are just tools. I like to call them tools in the toolkit. Okay. These are tools in the toolkit that's free and readily available, and you can play with it and it can be fun because it's like you build up your own strength and confidence because you're using some of the tools and things that are helping you, and it helps you to know what you need to pull out at different times. And if it doesn't work one time, it's okay. Then that's when we go into other things and we seek other means and methods and clearings and you know so forth. But at least you got something in your toolkit. At least it's cutting through some of it. You see that? And by the way, if you're wanting to get a love spell off of you, there's another thing you can do in hoodoo. I think it's a hoodoo practice. Okay, my apologies.